introduction of courtship and marriage in the 21st century compared to Jane Austen's era. We'll be reviewing the steps of courtship and the steps of marriage displayed by figures from Austen's era and figures from people in the 21st century. You will see the differences and some of the similarities between the two. Please enjoy.
Courtship. Meeting prospective partners. Men of high social status were rare, and when one came into town, news spread to all of the prospective women throughout the town, and it was like a competition to see who would meet and talk to him first. Here is a quote from Jane Austen's novel Pride and Prejudice.
However little known the feelings or views of such a man may be on his first entering a neighborhood, this truth is so well fixed in the minds of the surrounding families that he is considered as the rightful property of some or one of their daughters.
Meeting prospective partners now. Now there are vast outlets for meeting partners, and it is not uncommon for women to initiate conversation. Outlets include internet, friends, parties, work, etc.
First, we will demonstrate how an Austen-era girl will flatter an Austen-era boy. Let's observe.
Hello, dear sir. I am such a wonderful woman. I have knit these pillows. I made this table. I can craft these curtains. I made this picture frame. I can do so many skills that a wife should have.
Pause. Notice how she is displaying all of the accomplishments that a woman should have had in Austen's era. She is displaying how she can weave, how she can make beautiful tables, and then she tries to portray that on the boy so he can see that she will be an acceptable wife. Resume.
How are your muscles so big? Oh my goodness, I could not have done that to get my muscles so big. You are so strong and burly and werewolf-like. You are such a great man. I would be suitable to be your wife.
Pause. Notice how she is using compassion in order to gain his attention. She is showing him how he has rather large muscles in order to show her compassion towards him and how she will empathize with him in the long years of their life.
In Austen's era, it was not uncommon for the father figure of a household to initiate contact with the prospective young man that he would like to marry his daughter. Flattery and compassion were two forms of flirting that women used in order to court young men. They would show that they would be suitable wives for their husbands. Here is a quote from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. "I am afraid you do not like your pen. Let me mend it for you. I mend pens remarkably well. How can you contrive to write so even?" This is a woman showing a man she will be a suitable wife.
Let's observe a 21st century girl court a 21st century boy. Take a look. Hey, you're cute. What's up? Pause. Did you notice how the female approached the male? Continue.
So, we should date sometime. Do you have a Facebook, MySpace, tweet on Twitter?
Pause. Notice how she used the different forms of communication that were not available in Austen's era, such as Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter. Resume.
Yeah! Woo!
Marriage. Let's begin by viewing an Austen-era proposal where the men always chose the women and the women most likely felt obliged to say yes to the man. Little preparation was involved, and it was not as elaborate as 21st century proposals are today. Let's take a look.
Hi, Katie. It's a fine evening today, isn't it?
Yes.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Well, I was just sitting at breakfast today, and I thought about you and how beautiful you are, and I thought that I would just decide to ask to marry you today.
Well, I should accept your proposal.
It's because I'm rich, right?
Yes, you're so rich and have such nice muscles. I am obliged to marry you, so I can have 10,000 euros a year.
Perfect. My mother will surely approve of this marriage.
Can we go to your estate?
Yes, we will be married next week, and have children the following week.
Okay.
Alright, let's observe the proposal between 21st century male and women. Pause. Notice the elaborance of the proposal and how the female is actually asking the male for his hand in marriage. Resume.
So, Jacob, I know that you are poor, starving actor and have werewolf-like tendencies, and you are very quiet. But I still love you.
Pause. Notice how the societal restraints of him being poor and her being rich did not confine her for her love for Jacob.
I would like you to marry me.
Pause. Also notice the elaborance of the proposal. In Austen's era, there would not be the use of flowers and the delicate planning that was put in place during this proposal. Resume.
I love you.
In Austen's era, it was very important for men and women to never marry below their social circle. Women and men both married for money and for security, not for love. One could risk getting disowned if they married below whom their family views it as acceptable. Let's view a quote from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. I have an excessive regard for Jane Bennet. She is really a very sweet girl, and I wish with all my heart she were well settled. But with such a father and mother, and such low connections, I am afraid there is no chance of it. Today there is less stress placed upon marrying in the right social class. There is more emphasis placed on love rather than money. However, there is still the occasional woman or man who only marries for money. Wedding rituals are elaborate today and involve much money and planning. A wedding is something that is a big social event and has turned commercial rather than about the love of two people. Weddings have turned into an industry and they are expected to be beautiful.
Thank you for watching this special M&C production of Courtship and Marriage between Austen's era and the 21st century. Now that you have observed the figures of Austen's era and the figures of the 21st century, and you have seen the differences as well as the similarities, I hope that you will use a combination of the two when courting your dear lover. I hope that you will always act in politeness. Cheers.
The party don't start till I walk in. Don't stop, make it pop, DJ.